Hey, Mike with Nerd Problems Gaming here. In today's video, we'll be doing an unboxing of Monster Hunter World, the board game, Ancient Forest, so let's get into it. All right, well now that we've got the game out, let's jump in and see what's inside. And so Monster Hunter World, the board game, Ancient Forest, is a core set of the Monster Hunter World board game series. Comes with this cool poster here, kind of some organization tips for organizing your game. And the game itself is more of an arena battle game, and so you'll be taking on massive monsters. It is a co-op game. Again, we've got detachable wings here for this massive beast. And again, looks like this is one of the massive monsters that you'll be taking down. And so players will coordinate together through multiple phases. There's like a gathering phase where you're preparing to fight the monster. In the preparation phase, again, this is the dragon, looks like the wings go in here. And you'll gather different resources and items to help you throughout your quest against these massive monsters. And then throughout that, once you've gone through that preparation phase, you'll have more of a hunting phase where you'll be taking on, again, one of these massive beasts. And there's different character types that you can play as and different hunts that you can go on. And really the goal of the game is players will work together to take on various hunts and to complete a 4-star hunt before the campaign timer runs out. There is an option to play kind of a one-off game, but I think the campaign option is where the real fun is going to happen, as you'll be progressively upgrading your character, getting new weapons, improving their skills, and more. So again, let me take this apart here. Looks like maybe some game board stuff. All right, so let's dive into different boards here. Looks like this is the game board. So definitely a pretty big area. You'll need to play the game. Can't really even fit this all on one screen here, but these are really the forest maps that you'll be going through throughout the game. And I believe it's double-sided here. Just a couple different options you can play on, change up your experience a bit. And as I mentioned, there's several different monster types you'll be taking on. These are kind of terrain tokens, so those will activate different aspects of the game as you're going around through the stages. Again, monster health dial here. And then similar to the video game, you'll have a process where you're kind of hunting down and tracking the monsters before your encounter in that preparation phase. And then you've also got these tokens, which are break tokens. And so certain aspects of the monsters can break off, giving you advantages and more rewards when you defeat them. You've also got different elemental attacks and status effects you might be placing on enemies throughout the battles. So again, cool elements really carried over from the video game. So you kind of have that same type of strategy element to the game as well. Got pretty big rule book. And so it breaks down all the rules, but it does kind of have a quick start guide here. Kind of again breaks down the story of the game, how you play, explaining the different character classes, how the damage card works, how you set up the game. Characters will have more of a stamina board where they'll place their attacks and abilities that they're using. Tells you how to set up the campaign, kind of how the hunting phases works, monsters' abilities, and it is a co-op game. And so the monsters kind of work almost like an NPC, where they'll do different attacks based on the cards that you draw and move in certain ways, targeting different characters. And again, there's also the option to upgrade your characters. So there's like a headquarter phase here where you can really upgrade your armor and weapons, build new items to help you on your future quests. So again, kind of a quick start guide here as well in the back. Also got a quest book. So this is kind of as you're tracking down the monsters, different things that happen along the way. You have kind of choices that you want to make that could give you different advantages or find different items, different things like that. So just another kind of cool, almost a choose your own adventure thing. There's downtime activities you can do. So you have typically a certain number of days to complete quests. And so you'll need to spend your time wisely hunting new monsters, taking on other activities around town to level your characters up, make them more powerful, different things like that. So you'll need to make those decisions. So again, these are the stamina boards. So throughout your turn, you'll be able to play different attack cards, equip different armor and weapon types. And so you'll need to strategically plan your attacks through this. Comes with a variety of character sheets. So each player through the game will make their own character and kind of track your progress throughout the campaign. It's like these are monster physiology cards. And so these cards really break down specific monsters, really what your rewards are for defeating them, but showcase things like their health, elemental and ability weaknesses, elemental and status weaknesses, different areas you can break on the monster and corresponding effects when that happens. And then again, you can see there's different versions of each monster. So the first one is kind of the 1 star the first time you fight them, and then it gets more difficult from there. And so again, you can take on these monsters for the first time and then revisit them to take on a harder challenge to get better rewards throughout your campaign. And so again, you'll be using items and rewards that you get from these monsters to kind of craft new weapons, craft better armor, make yourself more powerful in hopes of defeating an enemy with this 4 stars before the campaign ends. Now again, there's different character types. So you can see there's like a great sword character, different weapons that you can unlock for them. Also has their armor guide, and so you can build armor with elemental resistance and more defense capabilities. Dual blade character you can play as. A bow character, sword and shield. And again, there's other options here for other forging guides depending on what elements you're playing throughout the game. So that's included here as well. Game comes with dice, some different spinner token adapters. I've seen these before. This is kind of creating your health trackers with those. You've got the different miniatures. So it looks like the dual swordsman character, which looks pretty sweet. This one is the sword and shield character. It's definitely really cool miniatures. Great details on the armor. You can tell it's made like from defeated monsters, which is cool. This is the archer bow character, doing more ranged attacks, strategically moving your character around and doing range damage. And then this is the greatsword character. Just huge, massive sword. I'm sure they do pretty decent damage, but maybe put themselves at risk with close combat. We'll see. So we've got some weapon and item cards. All right, so you can see here, these are some armor cards. So some of the basic starting armor, most likely. Again, depending on what class type you're choosing. Got some basic ones here. And then you've got more upgraded armor, bone mail, bone helms, different things like that. And then looks like some more armor made from enemy types as you defeat them, giving you some different elemental resistance. In this case, some electrical resistance. I think that monster you fight has electric abilities, so that makes sense. And again, here's some fire options. protecting you against that. So I'm sure once you've created some of these armor pieces, it'll help you fight those monster types more effectively, taking on tougher challenges and a higher star hunt as you go through. So really cool graphics here. Looks like it's right out of the game as well. All right, we got some weapon cards here, as well as some armor. I think this is some of the great sword characters, abilities, attacks they can learn. And again, these are attack cards you'll play on your stamina board. And now we're moving into, looks like the sword and shield base character cards, their abilities. So you'll need to strategically use your weapons and items to take down these massive monsters and strategically place these attacks on your stamina bar to maximize damage and successfully complete the hunt. And it seems like each character is going to play pretty different, so excited to check that out and see how each character type plays through the game. So that'll be a lot of fun to go through that. And these are more just damage cards. So you'll have like a damage deck that you'll be drawing attacks from throughout combat. And so each weapon type will kind of have a designated number of cards to build your damage deck from. So, you know, you'll have so many one damage types, so many two, so many three. And again, you'll build this out as you play, probably expanding to 4 damage types as you get better weapon types throughout the game. And then there's also elemental damage you can do to enemies depending on weapons you're using. All right, these look like to be some upgradable weapons. And so you can see kind of the top left here, you've got the rarity of the weapons. And so you can get better damage cards, better weapons in general. And then again, this can help you be more effective in combat using the various weapons, which is cool, kind of that RPG element added into the game. All right, now these cards are the monster attacks, and so they'll have different monsters, what ones will use these abilities, and again, depending on how tough a monster you're fighting or kind of which star version, they'll have extra ones thrown in that do more powerful attacks to your characters. But this is kind of how the enemies will work throughout combat, where it will dictate how they move, where they attack on the board, how much damage they do, you know, if they're causing any types of status effects. And then also it indicates on there how many turns your players will have after an enemy does set attacks. You can see it'll do like 1 turn, for example, and they can play up to 3 cards, to my understanding is what that means. And so again, pretty cool. We'll have that video game feel to it. All right, we've got some more weapon types. And again, I've really liked several of the Steamforged games, video game adaptations that they've made. I think they really do a pretty good job giving you that feeling of playing the actual game, but more in board game form. Played through the Dark Souls series, a few of those board games, Resident Evil as well, and now we're checking out this one here, Monster Hunter World. And I've really felt like they've done a good job adapting it and making it really feel like you're playing the video game. And so excited to check this one out for sure. And it seems like it'll have pretty good replay value. You know, most campaigns are going to take several play sessions to get through. And again, depending on whether you're playing solo or with multiple people, I think that'll be a different experience as well. Now these cards are time cards. And so after your turns or throughout one of the phases, you'll basically be drawing these, and if time runs out on your hunt, you'll fail, but then each one of these that you draw kind of activate new unique things, so kind of events playing into the hunt. So just another cool element that will create some replay value and unique experience each time you play. You've also got these Palico cards. So these are little monsters, pets that'll help you along with your fights, but these are more reserved for 1 and 2 player games as well. All right, well, that wraps up this unboxing of Monster Hunter World, the board game Ancient Forest. If you did want to pick up a copy of this game, there'll be a link in the description below where you can do so. But I'm pretty excited to check out and play this game. I've been a fan of the video games, and this seems like a pretty cool adaptation that follows the feel of the game, and so I'm excited to check it out and play it. But let me know your thoughts in the comments below. If you've played this game yet, if it looks like it's something you want to check out, if you're a fan of the Monster Hunter video games and this board game version looks exciting to you, let me know in the comments below. Well, again, hopefully you enjoyed this unboxing video on Monster Hunter World, the board game, Ancient Forest. If you did, be sure to hit that like button as it really helps out the channel. And if you'd like to pick up a copy of this game, there'll be links in the description below where you can do so. And if you'd like to help support the channel, we actually partnered with a game store, Nutmeg Games. And so you can head to nutmeggames.com/nerdproblemsgaming or use our promo code NerdProblemsGaming at checkout, and you'll get 10% off your order and help support the channel at the same time. So if you like things like board games, Yu-Gi-Oh cards, Magic cards, Pokemon cards, and more, go ahead there and check out that great discount and help support the channel at the same time. And if you like videos like this on video games, board games, and everything nerdy, check out one of our other videos here. And if you haven't done so yet, be sure to subscribe and turn on the bell notifications to get the latest updates of new nerd videos we put out. But once again, thanks for tuning in, and we'll talk to you more soon.